Welcome to the Ozarks. In this video, I'll spend 10 days in beautiful Ozark country, including Oklahoma, Branson, Missouri, and Arkansas. We'll see fun and colorful sights on Route 66 in Oklahoma, festive Christmas shows in Branson, and several fascinating national park sites in Arkansas. We'll ride a showboat on the lake, a golf cart through a cave, and an elevator to the top of a tower. My name is Matt, and I'm a full-time traveler. In December of 2023, I spent 10 days in the Ozarks with my parents and my sisters, and I'm excited to share this fun road trip with you. All right. First night, we're getting a taste of Route 66 at Christmas time.
So this is Bucks on 66, and these muffler mans are famous along Route 66.
Bucks on 66 is a fun, colorful curio shop with a recognizable Route 66 muffler man on display. They've named him Buck Adam, and we'll see more statues like him on the route. Nearby, this interesting statue is called East Meets West, and it's right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Route 66 starts to turn west, signifying the future. Horses representing the past are spooked by the automobile representing the future. It symbolizes how Route 66 was yet another version of Go West, young man. Sapulpa, Oklahoma calls itself the Crossroads of America. A few years back, they started something called the Sapulpa Route 66 Christmas Shoot, where they turn Route 66 into a Christmas bonanza. Okay, we stumbled into a little Christmas celebration here in Sapulpa, Oklahoma Village. Look at all that. We were blown away by how many lights they had. Each storefront has a themed shoot in front that we get to walk through. All right, pretty cool nutcracker guy here with all that candy.
I can't believe this is only the second year. It was so busy.
All right, well, this has been a winner. This has been quite an impressive little Christmas display here in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. 1950s style diners might just be the most common roadside attraction on Route 66. These popped up all along the route as more and more travelers hit the mother road. Once the interstate system came along, fast food places started replacing the diners, but diners still provide a nostalgic trip back to the days of Elvis, who we'll encounter again later on this video. They're famous for their chicken fried steak here.
Chicken fried steak.
It's arguably the best on Route 66.
It's huge.
According to their own television station here. And I got a chicken avocado here. Chicken avocado sandwich. All right, so I'm gonna give Tally's a thumbs up here. That was pretty good. Route 66 Diner.
So Oklahoma has these great free passport for Route 66. And once you go to the stop, the store will stamp your passport book. We are going to be doing the grain section, which is the northeast section. Right now we're currently here and we're gonna drive this way.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's go.
Yep.
Okay, buckle up because we're going to make several roadside stops on our way to Missouri. The Blue Well of Catoosa is a well-known landmark on the route. We stopped in the office here, got our book stamped, and the lady told me that one day during the summer this year, they had over 220 visitors come and check out the Blue Well. Blue Well is pulling Santa and his sleigh. That's kind of fun. Next up is the Will Rogers Museum and Grave. I was blown away by how large this museum was to a once beloved American figure. Will Rogers was famous for his political satire, kind of like Mark Twain. Will was born an Oklahoma cowboy and entertained people with his roping tricks and storytelling. He ended up becoming America's most respected voice. His most famous saying was, "I never met a man I didn't like." Unfortunately, his life was cut short by a plane crash in the 1930s. Oklahoma's favorite son is buried next to his museum just off of Route 66. He was so popular that when he died, the Route 66 Highway Association formally renamed the road the Will Rogers Highway. Our next stop is Ed Galloway's Totem Pole Park near Foyle, Oklahoma. These cement totem poles were built between 1937 and 1961 as an early roadside attraction. The tallest is 90 feet. I was really impressed by how colorful and vibrant they were, a sign that they continue to have a loving owner. The Highway Cafe was not in our passport book, but I'm really glad we stopped here. Besides the giant muffler man and Indian out front, the cafe has a car inside that owns the strange world record for most stickers on a car. It actually doesn't look like it's covered in stickers, but each one of these is a sticker. 60,000 of them covering this car. All right, time to stop and get something to eat. All right, this is a little slice of small town America here on Route 66. Okay, you got a grilled cheese.
This thing is $3.25.
I know it's insanely cheap, and my whole plate here, this is some country cooking here, it was like $7. I haven't seen food that cheap in forever, but ooh, can't wait to dig in. Next up is a town pronounced Miami, Oklahoma, and it has the coolest building I've seen on the Mother Road. This is the Coleman Theater, an immaculately restored 1920s theater. The worker told me this theater opened in 1929 and has never closed. It was used for vaudeville and silent movies, and Will Rogers even performed here. I was amazed by this building and wished I could have watched a show here. You can see this architecture here is pretty common along Route 66 and even made it into the movie Cars. In Commerce, Oklahoma, I found this statue of Mickey Mantle. The legendary New York Yankee baseball player was born here, and his boyhood home has been restored and is open for visitors. The first real book I ever read was Mickey Mantle's autobiography, and I could picture him as a boy hitting baseballs over the shed because I did the same thing as a boy. The funny thing is, I was in New York City in 1995 when Mickey Mantle died on my birthday, and I went to his restaurant, Mantle's, in New York City. Next up are two towns in Kansas that provided a lot of inspiration for the movie Cars, which is close to my heart because I have watched that movie 1,000 times because I have 3 boys who were obsessed with it. Baxter Springs has a half-sphere building with a Fillmore next to it, and Galena is where John Lasseter found the original Mater. One of his writers saw this truck along the side of the road and got his inspiration for the funny and lovable character. If you want to see more of the places we explored today, check out my Route 66 video, which I'll link to above and below. All right, we're at Lambert's Cafe, home of the Throwed Rolls. Lambert's Cafe has been serving huge portions of Southern comfort food since the 1970s and is well known for its pass-around dishes served family style, but it's famous for throwing their delicious rolls to you. You better have sure hands. All right, they threw us these big, huge rolls, right?
Yep.
That was kind of fun. And now, yeah, you caught them. We all caught them. And then we have, this is our drinks. They come in a big old mug here. We've arrived in Branson, Missouri, and our first stop is Branson's very strange Route 76. This is Country Boulevard, also known as the Strip of Branson. This is like the Ozarks version of the Las Vegas Strip. There are over 100 shows in Branson, most of which are along the Strip, which also hosts just about as many mini golf courses. This is Family Fun Central. There are several kitschy but fun museums, theaters, and quirky roadside attractions that we're checking out this morning. Okay, we're here at the Celebrity Car Museum with all these cool recreations. We got the Ghostbusters and Lightning McQueen and Mater. Okay, we got the Fast and the Furious here. Jurassic Park and Scooby-Doo. Okay, we're now at the Veterans Memorial Museum. Each of these guys has a name at the bottom on those little nameplates. So these are 50 soldiers portraying the actual World War II infantrymen, one from each state. Quite a large bronze sculpture here. Grand Country Fun Center place has a giant banjo sticking out of the window. All right, they're closed, so we can't go inside, but there's a giant banjo inside. A giant rooster here. This is a restaurant called the Chicken House. It's got to be about 90 feet tall. This is massive. This is pretty funny. These legs are like wood or something there. Giant camera with hands. That quirky little spot here. Look at those hands. Branson's Paschetti's with this famous fork and meatball in front. Huge. You can see the perspective here. Big old bust of Ronald Reagan here. This crazy place is Ripley's Believe It or Not, and they just have a strange collection of stuff here. This is a pretty amazing version of the Hulk. And this is made from recycled tires. Look at these up close. Up next is Silver Dollar City, a fantastic theme park that also offers shows. We visited this about 7 years ago and I just loved it. It has one consistent theme set in the 1880s in the Ozarks. It's incredibly clean and well done. Not that I've been to a ton of theme parks, but this is one of my favorites. We have 2 Christmas shows we're scheduled to watch, and in between, my sister and I will fit in as many rides as we can. We'll end it by checking out the 6.5 million Christmas lights they've put up. We've got a cinnamon roll shop here, Eva and Delilah's special pastries. Look at some of this insanity. Oh, baby, look at these old cinnamon rolls and treats, pastries. Yummy. We have our little map of the park here. We're very excited. First ride we're going to go on is Time Traveler here. Their theming here is fantastic. So this is called Time Traveler, and they have all these clocks all over the place. See ya. It's an intense ride, very fun one. That's a creative one. I've never seen another ride quite like Time Traveler here. That was
we
cool.
sat on the back, and we had heard that was the more wicked part of the ride, was sitting on the back versus the front, and it was pretty wicked.
The big gingerbread man. All right, so we're now going to a play called Coming Home for Christmas. There is a huge line to get in here. It's in that playhouse right over there. The 2 Christmas shows we went to were good. Last time I came here was in the summer, and I enjoyed watching the clogging shows quite a bit. The shows are one of the things that makes Silver Dollar City pretty special. This time, of course, is all about Christmas, and let me tell you, Branson knows how to do Christmas. We're visiting Branson as part of a tour group, and this tour will include 10 Christmas shows in total. Going to 10 shows didn't sound fun to me, but my parents talked us kids into going with them. I'll give you some of my observations about the shows a little later. All right, here we go. Keep your heads back against the rest. Whoa! Okay, this is Wildfire. We just went on this, and this is a pretty cool ride. Oh, baby. This is really pretty in the summer. It's all green. The trees kind of cover all the rides.
We've rode like, what, 6 rides in the last 2 hours?
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit motion sickness.
Are you? Yeah, these are fairly intense.
These are intense.
Okay, now check this out. This is Christmas in Midtown. This is the section of the park. Midtown is what it's called. This is wild stuff. Holy cow. I mean, they are festive. I think there's more lights here than what I saw at Disneyland earlier this year, and we went there at Christmas times. Okay, we are now going to eat at Miss Molly's restaurant. This is a buffet here. I like this because they're leading off with their desserts. All right, but the yams with the pecan pie. Crazy delicious stuff looking here. Okay, dinner was very good, and now we're catching a little light show on this Christmas tree. All right, now we're doing the parade to top the night off. All right, we are here at Clay Cooper Theater for the Clay Cooper Country Christmas Show. Clay Cooper is a legend in Branson. He's been performing here for over 30 years, and he's very involved in the community. I think he was the consensus favorite among our group because he added so much personality and humor to his show.
Just gonna go sit down, that's all you gotta do. If you start to fall, let go of me, Claudia. We could turn the lights off if that make you more comfortable. On the front porch in the swing, just a swinging.
Okay, we're now at the Dolly Parton Stampede show. Claiming to be the world's most visited dinner attraction here. Look at these Christmas trees, these are unbelievable. This is where we're gonna sit. We all have our tables and we're just gonna chow down while we watch a show. This was the biggest production of any show we went to. Dolly Parton Stampede is one of 2 locations the famous country singer has established, the other being in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. The show includes impressive horse riding stunts with some 30 plus horses in the show. You can see them up close before or after the show. They divided the audience into two sections, the North and the South. This part of the show felt a little forced, and I can't say the audience was always that invested in its side winning. But the competitions were interesting and fun, with horse races and pig races. While we watched, we scarfed down a 4-course meal. The soup was incredibly good, as was the roasted chicken.
Get your blade, grab a board, don't hesitate. Use your fingers is all right too.
Typically, the show has a heavy patriotic theme, but it's Christmas in Branson, so it's all about Christ here. Okay, I'm now at Hertz Donuts. German chocolate, peanut butter cup, mint Oreo, Slim Shady, Dirt Worm, hot cocoa, and oh my gosh, Little Debbie's. Oh yeah, the pink donut that made Homer go crazy. I really just thought this was gonna be a donut shop, but I was totally wrong. They are into their donuts here. They make a ton of custom-made donuts in honor of the fact that I'm in Jesus country here, and all the shows are talking about Jesus. I ended up getting a Jesus donut. So if you're in Branson, check out Hertz Donuts, man, for some really gourmet donuts. All right, we've arrived at the riverboat. Oh, beautiful entrance area, beautiful grounds. And of course they got the Christmas decorations up. So festive. Okay, you can see the tree in the building there. I mean, everything here in Branson is just so well done. It's just top notch. And this steamboat looks amazing. The showboat Branson Belle debuted in 1994 as a recreation of the old-timey riverboat. This reminds me of the movie Maverick. I just hope I don't get thrown off for cheating in a game of poker. It's owned by Silver Dollar City, so you know it's high production. The showboat lives on Table Rock Lake, a large reservoir with over 800 miles of shoreline for recreation. Last time I was here, we rented a pontoon boat to play on Table Rock Lake. Okay, I'm out on the second deck right now. We are on Table Rock Lake, a beautiful and large lake here, just outside of Branson. All right, I'm out here looking for the Duke, so I can swindle him out of some money so I can join the poker show. All right, now it's time to go downstairs for the dinner and the show. I couldn't record during the show, but basically the way this went down was they fed us a very good roast and potatoes dinner while we watched a warm-up act sing. Then a comedian slash magician came out to perform for us. He was awesome, and he stayed out there as the MC for the rest of the show, which was mostly Christmas and gospel music. It was another fantastic show, a lot of Christmas music, a lot of other stuff. Love the magic show portion. Only wish there would have been more of that, but still a very wonderful show. Okay, we're just getting off the ship and everybody seems very happy and pleased with their experience on the Branson Belle. Okay, we are now at the Presley's Country Jubilee, and this is the show that started Branson, basically. First show here, like over 50 years ago. The Presley Country Jubilee is fascinating because it was the first show on the Branson Strip. Over 50 years later, they are still performing. The Presley family still owns it, and today's generation of Presleys are performers. The hilarious Cecil is the fan favorite here, and after the play, the entire cast let us take pictures with them. You can even get a Cecil doll. Autumn, okay, tell me what you got.
I bet that Cecil doll's our bestseller.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be.
I got the Cecil doll. Is it the cutest? And he signed it.
He signed it for you. Very fun. In case you're wondering, the Missouri Presleys are only distantly related to Elvis and the Mississippi Presleys. Okay, it's a beautiful morning here today, and the bus has dropped us off at this little village, this little shopping center. like everything else in Branson, it's decorated and done well. We've got an art gallery there, bookstore, and this cool big chair. All right, family picture time. Okay, so you gotta come in here to see their hot chocolate and how cute the store is. There you go, hon.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Oh, baby, look at this. What is that? A huge marshmallow
Yeah.
in the hot chocolate? Oh, man, that's amazing. All right, here's my sisters. Okay, yet another Christmas shop. I guess this is like a year-round Kringle's Christmas shop. Holy cow. This is unbelievable. Patriotic Christmas stuff. These are unreal. All right,
Finally went off.
historic downtown Branson. Okay, we're at Dick's Five and Dime store. I've heard a lot about this place and I'm excited to go check it out. Dick's Five and Dime was founded in 1961 by Dick Hartley as a true variety store. With over 250,000 items in stock, it's a treasure trove where you never know what you'll find. There's something here for everyone, and a lot of nostalgia and quirky collections all smashed into narrow rows. It's so tight in here. Pretty much they have everything you could ever want if you can find it. Okay, so this is great. They have the Travis Kelce pennant here, and right next to it, well, it was a pretty cool store, and I found a few baseball things and Old West things that I liked, but ultimately I'm not a shopper, so I didn't get anything. Okay, we're now at Branson Landing. This is right next to Old Town Branson and is a newer shopping district here, right along the waterfront here, which is pretty cool. Once again, just really, really nice Christmas decorations here. Beautiful nutcrackers here. Well, this is easily the most impressive theater we've seen yet. We're gonna see Queen Esther. We've heard it's the biggest production here in Branson. Okay, this is called Sight and Sound Theater, and just the inside here, the lobby area is really fancy. Beautiful looking theater. I'm excited for this show. Queen Esther. Okay, this is a massive theater, very pretty, very professional. They have a little program here with Bible fun facts to help you learn about Esther and how they took it from scripture to script. Okay, it is intermission and we can't record during the play, but check out this insane stage. This is the most amazing stage I've ever seen. The stage also kind of wraps around to both sides, so it feels really intimate, like you are part of the action. Okay, we are now at the Hughes Brothers Christmas Show. This Christmas show has been named the #1 Christmas show in Branson for the last 16 years in a row, which is insane. This is hilarious. This family has 87 people and their family, and over 50 of them will be performing on stage tonight. We do a variety of shows, but tonight will be the Christmas show. All of these theaters have just to die for smells. With all those kids that they have every year, they also told us that they were the only show to have a live baby Jesus every year because they have so many kids. All right, so we're eating dinner first on like the second story here, but then we will move down for the show. Okay, more dinner, potatoes, rolls, chicken.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Practically all the Hughes family, their spouses, and their kids perform or have performed in this show. What they lacked in some comedic timing, they more than made up for with their remarkable music talent. I was blown away by one of their violin numbers. Most people in the audience seem to love the involvement of the children, who range from babies to teenagers. Okay, we're out for a little driving tour of Branson this morning. They've gotten us to this overlook here. Nice little overlook, shows the river below and the town in the distance. The College of the Ozarks was a very interesting stop that I knew nothing about. This school is tuition free. In exchange for free tuition, students must work 15 hours per week at on-campus jobs. This has given the college the nickname Hard Work U. Every student graduates debt-free. It does not receive any federal funding. The jobs they work range from working on the college's dairy farm, the greenhouse, and in the famous fruitcake store. The college believes in patriotic education and honors veterans throughout the campus. It is a non-denominational school, and every student must also attend church in some fashion. So the students also make the jellies and jams. Very popular item here. Holy cow, this place is hopping. There are a lot of people in here buying stuff. Delicious looking cookies as well. Okay, I had no idea, but I guess this is a resort, so you can come stay here and see Branson, Missouri from this College of the Ozarks. Beautiful dining room. Just top notch, baby. Okay, the ice cream is the big thing here, which they make with the milk that they made on campus here. You can see there's a big old line, but I'm not gonna do that because we're gonna go eat lunch soon. The millionth Christmas tree I've seen this week here in Branson. We are now at a place called Top of the Rock. This is just south of Branson and a little nature preserve area, so let's go check it out. I have a bunch of golf carts here. What you do is you rent the golf cart for about an hour, and they have a trail that goes around this nature area here, and they have some waterfalls and things that we'll see on the way. I hope it's interesting because it was $41, so a little expensive for this, but looks like a pretty cool little activity. So earlier I mentioned Table Rock Lake is a popular recreation destination. Some of the land around Table Rock is owned by Johnny Morris, the founder of Bass Pro Shops. He's built the famous Big Cedar Lodge here, which is a very impressive resort. And in 2014, he added onto the resort with the Top of the Rock attraction. The cart is not exactly golf cart speed. They even, and also they have Christmas lights here at night. So that sounds kind of cool, but we can't do that. But because we have to get back with our tour group. I guess that's pretty popular because they're sold out tonight on the Christmas light display, the night ride.
As you go along, you'll see the displays that are going to be lit up at night.
Yeah. This is a golf cart path that winds through the Ozarks with great views of the mountains. The path passes by waterfalls, goes through tunnels, passes over bridges, and even goes through streams. The golf cart is very slow, surely a safety measure, but also allows you to take it all in. The highlight is the Lost Canyon Cave. Okay, we've come to this very cool area here. And actually there's a sign there that says we're gonna drive through the cave. So that looks kind of fun. We're actually driving through. Turn on lights.
Oh my gosh, it's our drinks.
That's awesome, there's a bar here. That's cool. Wow, they have a little spot to buy drinks in here. That is really funny. Okay, we are in the middle of this gigantic cave with lasers. That's wild. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, well, we made it through the cave. That was pretty fun. Just a really short little drive, but beautiful waterfalls, and this is interesting.
We have a bar with drinks. It's bat cave, waterfalls, skeletons, dinosaur skeletons, a little bit of everything.
Fun.
Look down.
Go over the bridge.
I'm gonna stop here and look down.
Look down through the bridge. Bottom. Got a pretty cool little canyon view out there. Several cars up there going into the cave. This is very, very pretty little waterfall right here. Well, that was a really fun experience with my sister, but there is one more thing to see here before we leave the top of the rock. The ancient Ozarks Natural History Museum is a world-class museum full of Johnny Morris's collection of Native American artifacts. I was absolutely blown away by the number of arrowheads, pottery, and Native American clothing in this museum. The paintings and sculptures are incredible as well. The sign here says that they wore these war shirts because if they died, they wanted to look good meeting the Greek spirit. The highlight for me was seeing the vest Sitting Bull wore during the Battle of the Little Bighorn, as well as the uniform that Custer wore. There's an entire section on Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, including Annie Oakley's gun. This was easily the best Native American museum I've ever been to. This is included in the $41 golf cart ride and helped make the whole thing worth the price of admission. Our only regret is that we didn't have more time, and it would be nice to visit during the summer or fall when the area is prettier. If you want to see more of the golf cart ride and this museum, I've created another video dedicated just to these. I'll put the link in the description. Branson is often called the Las Vegas of the East. It should be called Bizarro Las Vegas. It's the opposite of Sin City. It's family friendly. I actually didn't know this was part of the Bible Belt, but visit at Christmas and every show will pay tribute to the military and the man above. The shows aren't as impressive as Vegas, but like the town itself, they are clean and fun. Now we're moving into Arkansas, where we'll spend 3 days exploring the history and nature of the Ozarks. Stopping at the country's first national river, we'll walk in the footsteps of the Little Rock Nine and take a dip into Arkansas's only national park. We'll see the Wild West, Civil War battles, and even the spot where Elvis got his famous buzz cut. We'll eat at local diners as well as clubs where mobsters partied. Okay, we're driving through rural Arkansas right now, and we have heard about Corsi's smoked meats. This is supposedly the best bacon in the state. Corsi's has been smoking meat with hickory wood since 1945. This no-frills shop is located on Highway 65 in St. Joe's, Arkansas, making it an easy roadside stop. But you don't even have to visit to taste the goodness. Most of their business is shipped. Just call them to place an order for your Christmas ham.
And it was really good.
It was very
So
good.
we're gonna eat it just like that.
Yeah, we just got a little bit. That little store had like 8 people working in it, and this little town has a population of 130. We were kind of wondering who's all going in there, but sure enough, people went in there and they knew them by name. Okay, we're now here at Bufalo National River, a national park site here in Arkansas. Bufalo National River is a national park site and was the first national river in the United States. This is located in a pretty little area on the bend of the river. This is called the Tyler Bend Visitor Center, one of 2 visitor centers here at Bufalo National River. This is a national river because they wanted to save it from being dammed. I didn't even know national rivers were a thing, but apparently this was the first of 4 in the country. There are over 400 national park sites that are administered by the National Park Service. You think of like the big 63 national parks, but there are several other national rivers, national roads, memorials, monuments, and things like that. We've always been interested in going to all of them. So if we're ever in an area that has sites, we're always looking up on the National Park Service app to see if we can make a trip to one of these. These little brochures always have a map of the area. It's 153 miles long and has some of the finest waterfalls east of the Rockies. I was kind of wondering what one does at a national river. Apparently rafting the river is big, and the best time to do so is March to June when spring runoff is high. You can also do some hiking. My sister and I hiked a little trail to an overlook of the river valley. My understanding is this would all be a lake, like Table Rock Lake up in Branson, if they had dammed it. This trail had an interesting settlement that was one of the last land claims under the Homestead Act. 1928, this couple settled this land, and it was some of the last unclaimed land of the Louisiana Purchase. Tin roof here, low ceilings, no chinking in the logs. My sister just said it seems like it would be cold living here. That's pretty crazy. As late as the 1920s, people were still able to find a little bit of free land out there. Bee Branch, Arkansas. I love driving through small towns, and rural Arkansas has plenty. Bee Branch was named due to a large beehive in a tree near the post office, and today has 290 residents. Time to grab a bite to eat at the popular Arkansas chain David's Burgers. This is known for serving fresh, never frozen beef and unlimited French fries. I can get behind that. The staff walks around with a bucket of fries to refill you as needed. This 1950s style diner has won several local awards for best burgers in Central Arkansas.
I got a grilled cheese, and it's a bun, like a hamburger bun, inside out.
That's the grilled cheese.
In between. This is kind of funny. I laughed.
That is pretty funny. I kind of like that. Up next is one of the most historically significant high schools in the entire country due to its role in the civil rights movement. A dramatic scene unfolded here over 3 weeks as the school tried to desegregate. The school selected 9 black students to break the color barrier. On opening day, the Arkansas governor called in the Arkansas National Guard to prevent the students from entering the school. It was a bit of a zoo as several reporters and community members were there to witness or take part in the events. So the first day the children showed up and the National Guard turned them away from school, so they spent 2 weeks at home until Eisenhower issued an order that the Army would be on hand to enforce the desegregation. The resistance continued, with the governor even closing all schools the next year as a last gasp attempt to prevent integration. Okay, so several images on these here of the events, and then across the street is the school, and then over here across the street from the school is a gas station used by the media during the whole event and used to be the visitor center here until the new one was built in 2007. We are here on a Saturday. There's nobody here, just me and my sister wandering around the high school. No students, no visitors. There are benches all around this pond here dedicated to the Little Rock Nine, and then over here is a 10th bench dedicated to the past, present, and future students at Little Rock Central High School. In 1999, the Little Rock Nine were presented with a Congressional Gold Medal by President Bill Clinton, who himself was from Arkansas. Of course, we got to get our picture by the sign, and I did get my brochure for my collection. Speaking of Bill Clinton, we're now at the William J. Clinton Presidential Library in Little Rock. There are 15 presidential libraries in the country, and this is the largest. It houses 2 million photographs, 80 million pages of documents, and 79,000 artifacts from his presidency, such as Hillary Clinton's dresses, gifts from foreign dignitaries, whatever this thing is, and Bill's saxophones. Okay, it was so cool. We just saw the replica of the Oval Office and spent forever talking to the guy there. I wish I could share everything he shared with us. It was awesome. I got to sit at the desk. This is the second presidential office I've been to. I went to the Nixon Library in California. Now I am at the Bill Clinton Library here in Arkansas. They also have an exhibit here on the Little Rock Nine. Of course, they have a room about the impeachment. The presidential limousine, 1993. Okay, so I just finished going through the museum here, and my general take on this is I was probably a little disappointed by it. It was only $12, which isn't that much. The Oval Office portion was, to me, the best part because the guide made it really interesting. I do think if you get here during the right time, they will actually give you a tour of the whole place. I would highly recommend that. This was okay. It wasn't as good as the Richard Nixon Library in California. Also disappointed that the dress wasn't in there. They never talked about the scandal in his own library. We're now out for a walk on, I think they call this the Presidential Bridge over the Arkansas River. This is the Clinton Presidential Park Bridge. Okay, from the bridge here, we got a nice shot of the river and the skyline over there. This is the Arkansas River behind me. Funny thing is, earlier this year, I was in Colorado, right where the Arkansas River begins. All right, very cool. I'm not sure I've ever seen a state capitol building all lit up like this. Got a Santa with a big old Christmas tree, and it's all right here in the rotunda. The Arkansas Capitol Building was the 30th Capitol building in the country, completed in 1915. It was built on a former prison site, and some of the labor was done by convicts. Every December, they put Christmas lights on the building and a massive Christmas tree in the rotunda. Been to several of these state capitals before, and they all have these little self-guided tours to go through the building. As far as Capitol buildings go, it's on the smaller side. The exterior was made from granite from Arkansas and limestone from Indiana. The interior has marble from Vermont and Alaska. They intentionally got the columns from Colorado because that's where the Arkansas River begins. I learned quite a bit about the state of Arkansas from some of the displays in here. I just learned that Arkansas is the natural state. So the state flag was originally this design here with 3 stars representing that Arkansas belonged to 3 countries, France, Spain, and the United States. Also, that it was the 3rd state created out of the Louisiana Purchase. The 24 stars around here represent that it was the 24th state admitted to the Union, and the diamond represented that it was the only state that produced diamonds in the country. 9 statues dedicated to the Little Rock Nine. I was kind of surprised to see they weren't over near the historical site, but they are here on the Capitol grounds. The statue is called Testament. Welcome to Hot Springs National Park. Hot Springs National Park is located in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It became a resort town in the 1830s due to the hot springs. People came here in hopes that the hot springs would cure what ailed them. Several bathhouses were built to provide spa services to visitors. Today, these bathhouses are part of the national park. The park also includes the surrounding mountains, but funny enough, the town of Hot Springs is not in the national park. You can see that the national park map looks kind of like a donut. Our first stop is downtown, where we learn that around here, it's a thing to drink the natural hot spring water. Okay, we're now in downtown Hot Springs, Arkansas. All these houses across the way here are bathhouses. These are all part of the national park. Some of them are historic buildings, some of them are still being used as bathhouses. Hot spring water coming out. Okay, Heather says this is really hot. Yeah.
Put your fingers in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. All minerally.
It doesn't smell.
You can see a lot of people behind me are filling up their water bottles at this little fountain here. The lady at the hotel was a riot. She told me this is where all the visitors go to fill up their fountains. The locals go to a different one that's more fresh, because this one, it takes 2,000 years to get to the surface apparently, and the other fountain, it only takes 500 years to get to the surface, so it's much more fresh.
Came over to the hot springs fountain that people take the water to drink it. Warm water. It's not cold. It's warm and almost hot.
You just drink warm water. Is it minerally tasting?
No, it's not minerally tasting.
Really?
Yeah, it just kind of tastes like bottled water.
Okay, I gotta try this now. Huh, not mineral tasting. Ooh, just at the end there I had a little aftertaste. That's weird. This is Bathhouse Row, where several historical bathhouses are located. Before modern medicine, people came to Hot Springs, Arkansas on doctor's orders for spa treatments in these bathhouses. Think of this as water being used as medicine. Visitors, or patients, had to show their doctor's prescription before receiving treatment. Treatments might last a few hours as the patient would be taken from one hydrotherapy to another. This is the golden age of bathing here. Each of these bathhouses has a name. This is the Lamar Bathhouse, named after the same guy that Lamar Valley is named after in Yellowstone. And here are the Buckstaff baths. Look how fancy that is. This is an actual business where you can get a spa and massage and all that. This is the Quapaw bathhouse, the tallest of them, named after the Quapaw Indians in the region here. This is the Fordyce bathhouse, and it is now the National Parks Visitor Center. This is called the pack room. They'd pack them with like hot or cold packs here. Here's one of the tubs they would soak in. Looks pretty disgusting today. They sit in these hydrotherapy room. Another shower, that's what I'm talking about. That would be awesome. Okay, this is the steam cabinet room. Actually, I think that'd be kind of fun. This is the men's bathhouse, which is significantly larger than the women's. Me and my sister think it's weird that these people wanted somebody to bathe them. The video said it takes rainwater 8,000 years to get down to the center of the earth here, and then it comes up very quickly and pops out at about 143 degrees around here. Enough water comes out of the hot springs to generate 13 bathtubs of water every minute. This room was a fancy parlor where they would hang out and socialize. Okay, now this is awesome. This is the gymnasium. This reminds me of the Mandelbaum brothers in Seinfeld, the old-time gymnasium. Okay, we got a medicine ball, dumbbells, punching bag, and a variety of other crazy contraptions. Hot Springs, Arkansas was the first city that Major League Baseball used for spring training. And they came here because of the baths and because of the healing waters. And this gymnasium right here was used by Babe Ruth as well as many other Major League Baseball stars. Okay, look at these two cool towers. These were built when it was Hot Springs Reservation. And I have to say, I'm just quite fascinated by this whole area here. You can see how these bathhouses in the city is just tucked away in the mountains right here. Even though this was set aside for the benefit and enjoyment of everybody, not everybody could afford to do that. So there were a lot of poor people who came here and just set up a makeshift city, Raleigh City, where they had all their tents and stuff, and they just dug out holes to use for the hot springs. Superintendent then came and kicked the poor people out. He was afraid they were kind of making the waters dirty for everybody else. But he did have a heart. He ended up establishing a free bathhouse for the poor people. The only catch was they had to declare they were poor, which was kind of embarrassing for a lot of people. This little walkway behind here is called the Grand Promenade and was established for those people after they finished the bathing ritual. They would come out here and walk out in nature, finish their little healing process. Today we get to walk the trail as well, and there's a national recreational trail. This is one of the few spots where you can just see the water flowing naturally into a little pool here, and does not smell like sulfur like Yellowstone. Okay, I just got done with the Quapaw baths here. These are open baths, so you don't need a reservation to use them. They're just big pools. Each pool has different temperatures. I pretty much just went for the hottest one. Some of them were a little too lukewarm for me. Something you need to know if you were to visit here, the Quapaw baths and the other one down here, I can't remember the name, but they offer individual spa services in a variety of packages. You need to get reservations for those in advance. I think they start at $40 and go up to about $400, something like that. So you can do a variety of those, but if you want to do something like that, you need to get advanced reservations. If you don't have advanced reservations, you can just come and sit in the hot pots here. They're really just like any other kind of hot pot that you might go to. But it is pretty cool to be in these old historic buildings. I liked that a lot. Also, I'm here in December and the crowds are very low. I can imagine those pools would be really packed in the summer. Bathhouses weren't the only draw to Hot Springs, Arkansas. From the 1920s to the 1960s, Hot Springs was the largest illegal gambling operation in the United States. Mobsters set up gambling and moonshine operations here, and many of the bathhouses were actually run by the gangsters. Al Capone stayed at the Arlington Hotel so often that today room 443 is named the Capone. Mobster Bugsy Siegel supposedly got his inspiration for the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas from the resorts in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Well, this is unbelievable. In the 1920s, a U.S. park ranger was killed in the line of duty by bootleggers, and this was the first ranger killed in the line of duty. How sad. To learn more about the mobsters here, you can visit the Gangster Museum of America. We didn't have time to do this, so instead we visited the place where they used to party. Okay, this here is the Ohio Club, which is where a lot of the gangsters like Al Capone went. Speaking of the devil, Al Capone, you were a very bad man. You didn't pay your taxes. Okay, this Ohio Club is also where all the baseball players ate, and they have the original bar in there, so I have to go eat here. All right, very cool looking club here, the Ohio Club. And the little history section here. The menu says that we could be sitting where people like Al Jolson, Sammy Davis Jr., Mae West, Teddy Roosevelt, Herbert Hoover, and Bill Clinton sat. Okay, burger time. So we've driven to the top of the mountain here. The city is surrounded by a couple of mountains that you can drive to the top to. These are in the national park. At the top of this one is a tower that we got some free tickets from our hotel, so we're gonna go to the top. Old-timey poster here.
Many iterations of bathhouses have taken the place of those lost to the various floods and fires of Hot Springs history.
All right, here we go. Ah, great views, wow. Oh, this is beautiful, this is great. Some guy earlier pretty much apologized for their mountains not being like Utah's, but I don't care, this is great. Look at Hot Springs down there, the rolling hills. Hot Springs has a claim to be the first national park in the country. Often Yellowstone is given that credit, and probably rightfully so, but this area was the first federally protected area for the public use. So they protected these hot springs so that people could use them, so the businesses couldn't buy them up and then put them behind a paywall. That is why Yellowstone was created later on, pretty much the same reason. The legislation was a little different, so Yellowstone gets credit for being the first national park, but places like Hot Springs, Arkansas, they kind of make their little claim as well, and it is the oldest unit in the National Park Service. Well, this has been a very fun little stop. I like the little tower and the beautiful panoramic overlooks. Okay, in the tower gift shop here, they have some baseball memorabilia with the Babe Ruth signed ball. I think that's the same one they used in the Sandlot. Hot Springs is the birthplace of spring baseball. They have a walking tour of all the baseball sites in town, like fields where the players train. They actually have specific information about a lot of the players that came through here. This is Dizzy and Daffy Dean, Babe Ruth, several other legends. It started in the 1920s, I believe, and it ended near the end of the 50s. That was the time that the bathhouses were going away because modern medicine was replacing water as medicine. If you're a baseball fan like me, this is a really cool thing to do while you're here. They have a little walking tour that's going to take you around. Okay, we found this parking lot just outside of town here, and there's a couple of signs there for baseball stuff here. This used to be the main baseball field where all the players did their spring training, and here is the location of the home plate. I wish I could go back in time. Okay, so this cracks me up. The parking lot where we were just at is right there. This sign behind me right here says that Babe Ruth hit a home run from back there, the home plate, over, now this is an alligator farm, and hit it this far. It was over 500 feet. Okay, we sat down to order and we saw these ladies next to us had a giant mound of nachos. We had to get the giant mound of nachos. All right, baby, here we go. The legendary nachos.
Chicken nachos.
Oh, that is satisfying. Holy cow. Holy.
I'll enjoy it.
Oh, baby, there it is. Mound of nachos. We are driving to a wonderful little gem called Garvin Woodland Gardens. Okay, we've now driven out to a place that's run by the University of Arkansas, but it's like a huge botanical garden here. And around the holidays, they have told us over 8 million lights. This is more than at Disneyland and more than at Silver Dollar City in Branson, where we were at earlier this trip. Hey, well, look at this gorgeous peacock. Holy cow. Very colorful. These gardens were the vision of a woman named Verna Cook Garvin in the 1950s. She spent 40 years transforming this area on the lake into a tranquil garden and natural habitat. We got a little railroad model train village here. Oh, there's Santa. All right, Santa. Okay, over there, that little station, they got some hot chocolate for us. Free. My sister says it looks like she's going into Avatar land. In the 1980s, knowing she would pass on and wanting to leave a legacy, she gifted the land to the University of Arkansas School of Architecture. Since then, they've expanded it, and the university's influence can be seen in this treehouse and in the most well-known structure here, the Anthony Chapel. I would love to visit this during the blooming season, but as you can see, it's also really great at Christmas time. Okay, we got some pandas and bamboo here. Look, there's Kung Fu Panda right there. I like this. You got some origami birds here. Ah, these are cool. Nice and bright. Colorful. More sea creatures here. Very fun. I guess their theme is like under the sea. Now we got a light tunnel. Boom. Now we've moved into flowers and butterflies. All right, little choo-choo train here for the kiddos. Billowing smoke. This trail is about a mile long, is all. And they said that people come from all around. Come these lights. A little musical number with the lights changing. Today is our last day in the state of Arkansas. We have really loved our time here, and this morning we are at Fort Chaffee. This is a military training area here, and what's interesting about this is right behind me here is the place where Elvis got his haircut when he joined the military. Here's where he lost his locks. In 1958, at the height of his popularity, Elvis, the king of rock and roll, was drafted into the army. Elvis was a symbol of rebellious youth, so losing his pompadour hair and getting a standard issue military buzz cut was a symbol of rebelliousness coming into conformity. Elvis reported for duty here at Fort Chaffee, a day his fans called Black Monday. Samson losing his hair. A million reporters here that day, all stuffed into this little barbershop. They're calling it the haircut heard around the world. I love this. Somebody wrote a letter to President Eisenhower saying, "We think it's bad enough to send Elvis Presley in the army, but if you cut his sideburns off, we will just die." Before he left, his very controlling manager kept his career alive by arranging for records and films to be released during his absence. He returned home in 1960 to a hero's welcome. We are now traveling on the True Grit Trail. Highway 22 follows the path of the classic Western novel True Grit by Charles Portis. This area is the inspiration for the story of Maddie Ross, who sets out to avenge her father's death with the help of U.S. Marshal Rooster Cogburn. This was really fun to drive on because I've been to the location where the 1969 movie with John Wayne was filmed in Montrose, Colorado. The True Grit Trail ends at Fort Smith, Arkansas, which is both a town and a National Historic Site. I'm so glad I visited here because I knew nothing about the fascinating history that happened here. There are several movies about Fort Smith, or at least that include it, like True Grit with John Wayne, got Belle Starr, also Clint Eastwood, Hang 'em High. Wow, this is a really cool display of the inside of the fort. At the time this fort was established, it was out on the frontier, and this area was the wild, wild west. Outlaws such as the Dalton Gang and Belle Starr stirred up trouble around here. She was an outlaw who became famous enough to get her own dime novel series. U.S. Marshals attempted to round up these ruffians and clean up the place. The no-nonsense Judge Isaac Parker was appointed to bring some law and order. He became famous as the hanging judge due to the harsh sentences he often handed down. We get to see the courtroom where Parker presided today. I am really very impressed by this. This is one of the better National Park Service visitor centers that I've ever seen. The people he sentenced to prison got to hang out in a dank basement in the fort. Fort Smith was called Hell on the Border. 100 people were sentenced to jail in this room at a time. And this is where they had to go to the bathroom. This is where the soldiers slept, right here. Oh, on this delightful little sleeping pad. So that was a wonderful visitor center, and I did get my little brochure here, which I collect. This is like the 4th one I've gotten on this little trip, so that's pretty cool. All right, this sign says that Judge Parker sentenced 160 people, including 4 women, to be hanged here and about half of them were actually hung. This is the site where the fort was originally constructed. Across the river is Oklahoma. And so at the time, these were the Indian lands that they had reserved for the 5 civilized tribes. They moved them out here to these new Indian reservations here. Fort Smith was the place that they went through on their way, and then they were ferried across the Arkansas River to those lands over there. Once that happened, a lot of outlaws and stuff came over here, causing a lot of havoc over on the other side of the river there. So that's when they started bringing in the marshals to round them up, and brought in Judge Parker to bring them to justice. One of those marshals was Bass Reeves, who was a former slave and became one of the best marshals for Judge Isaac Parker. If you are in the area, I highly recommend it. It was very educational and enjoyable. Okay, Fort Smith got me really interested in the U.S. Marshals that tried to bring law and order to this area. And Fort Smith has been chosen as the place for this U.S. Marshals Museum, which was built about 15 years ago. Whoa, baby, we're getting right to it here with a very impressive room on what it means to be a U.S. Marshal. The first 13 marshals were commissioned by George Washington. They do talk about Justice Parker's court here in Fort Smith, of course, and Frederick Douglass becoming the first black U.S. Marshal. 1941, first nationwide badge created. Takes men who are brave to uphold the law here. Still today. We've got a whole room devoted to Bass Reeves here, and what's really cool, this Colt single action army revolver, the only known firearm to be Bass Reeves. This is a saddle used by John Wayne in many parades that he rode in. Wow. Incredibly fancy saddle. This room is all about the thankless job of maintaining order during protests. On several occasions, it fell to the U.S. Marshals to protect Martin Luther King Jr. Here's where you get to see if you're in good enough shape to be a U.S. Marshal. Here are some movies that have featured U.S. Marshals, including up there on the right, True Grit. This is the Wall of Honor here. These are all U.S. Marshals who have fallen in the line of duty. So I want to give a big thanks to all of you law enforcement personnel out there who do such an incredible job. All right, welcome to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Fayetteville is my favorite ville. I like that. This is the Clinton house. This is where Bill and Hillary lived at one point. Arkansas is into their Bill Clinton historic sites. All right, well, it's about time somebody noticed. Okay, so we are in downtown Fayetteville at the town square right now. Fayetteville is a really cute town. I mean, I think it's very nice here. The University of Arkansas Razorbacks are here, and the campus was beautiful, but there really isn't much going on here at all. It's a Monday in December. Everything is kind of closed down. You can see it's just very dead around here, even down the town square. So we're gonna head out and we're gonna go to Pea Ridge National Military Site. Pea Ridge was the site of a Civil War battle, one of several important battles west of the Mississippi River. The whole point of this battle was to keep Missouri in the Union. The battle took place here because it was on a major supply route. Missouri was one of 4 border states that the North desperately needed to keep in the Union. This Thunder in the Ozarks was a 2-day battle that took place near the beginning of the Civil War. You can learn about the battle by listening to the free online audio tour as you drive the 7-mile loop around the battlefield. Pea Ridge is right here on the border, so we're in Arkansas, but it's right by Missouri. Both of these were about keeping Missouri in the Union because they had both South and North sympathies. They were instant battlefields for control of the state. We just went into the visitor center. I got my brochure here, so I've now collected like 4 or 5 on this trip. Okay, we're now out on the battlefield here. This sign is saying that the Southern general was shot and killed here early on in the battle. What I always think is amazing about Civil War battlefields is they were always fought in the open on the farmlands, and then now they're protected as these national battlefields. This is where much of the fighting of the war happened, right here, this tavern. The Elkhorn Tavern became a base of operations for the North during the battle, and today has been restored by the park. Up next is the Walmart Museum, located in Bentonville, Arkansas. This is normally located at the site of Sam Walton's first store called Walton's Five and Dime, but the store and the museum are being renovated, so a temporary museum has been set up nearby. Okay, this is the temporary Walmart Museum. Well, I have a hologram here of Sam Walton. You can actually talk to him and he'll talk back, but I guess he's not doing it right at the moment. All right, it looks like they are capitalizing on Barbie mania here. Barbie and Walmart through the years. They have a bunch of Walmart uniforms. What I want to see is the Walmart cheers. Well, it was great to learn about all the ways that Walmart has benefited mankind and Earth in their propaganda museum. This was my first time in Arkansas, and I just loved it. It was pretty, the Ozark Mountains were great, and the history and national park sites were right up my alley. If you like this road trip, we have a playlist of great road trips for you, including our 10-day trip through the mountains of Colorado. And if you want to see more of what we have to offer, check out the description below. Thanks for watching.